Two coins, minted just 6 years apart, hold secrets worth millions. In 1951 and 1957, the Philadelphia Mint produced nickels that seemed ordinary, until collectors discovered microscopic details that would change lives. These aren't just pieces of metal, they're time capsules of human error that could be hiding in your spare change right now. Today, we're diving into the fascinating flaws that make these nickels some of the most valuable mistakes in American coinage. In your pocket right now might be a coin worth more than your house. The 1951 Jefferson Nickel, a seemingly ordinary piece of American currency that could be hiding extraordinary value. While most 1951 nickels are worth just that, 5 cents, certain rare variations and errors from this year can command astronomical prices at auction. The U.S. Mint produced over 28 million nickels in 1951 across 3 facilities, Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Each facility left its mark, or in some cases, fascinating mistakes that numismatists hunt for decades later. These aren't just coins, they're pieces of history that tell stories of post-war America, when minting processes were evolving and human error created some of today's most sought-after treasures. One collector from Ohio discovered this firsthand in 2019. While sorting through his father's old coin collection, he noticed something peculiar about a 1951 nickel, a double-struck error that would later sell for $45,000 at auction. Stories like these aren't as rare as you might think, because the 1951 nickel series is riddled with valuable variations waiting to be discovered. One of the most valuable errors from 1951 is the double die obverse. This occurs when the die used to strike the coin receives 2 slightly misaligned impressions during its creation. On these rare specimens, you'll notice distinct doubling on Jefferson's eye, the word "Liberty," and the date. These coins have sold for upwards of $50,000 in mint condition, but that's just the beginning. The 1951 S/S repunched mint mark variety shows clear evidence of the S mint mark being stamped twice, with the first attempt slightly offset. This error occurred when mint workers had to manually punch mint marks onto the working dies. While more common than the double die, these coins still command premium prices, especially in higher grades. Speaking of mint marks, here's a crucial detail many overlook: the positioning of the mint mark on 1951 nickels. It should appear on the reverse, to the right of Monticello. But some 1951 nickels show mint marks in slightly different positions. These position variations can significantly impact value. A 1951 D nickel with a dramatically misplaced mint mark recently sold $4.28,750. The true holy grail of 1951 nickel errors is the triple-struck coin. Imagine the odds, a planchet getting stuck in the press and receiving 3 distinct strikes, each slightly off-center from the last. Only 4 authenticated examples are known to exist, with one selling for $175,000 in 2018. The owner found it in a roll of nickels he purchased for face value. Temperature and pressure variations during the minting process created another fascinating error, the lamination flaw. These appear as peeling layers on the coin's surface, almost like a metal onion. While some collectors mistake these for damage, authenticated lamination errors from 1951 can fetch thousands of dollars. One remarkable example showed a complete layer separation that left Jefferson's portrait partially floating above the coin's surface. But perhaps the most intriguing aspect of 1951 nickels isn't just their errors, it's their preservation. The post-war era saw significant changes in metal composition and storage practices. Many 1951 nickels were stored in canvas mint bags that, over time, created unique toning patterns. These naturally toned specimens, displaying impressive rainbow colors, can sell for premium prices even without major errors. Here's something few people know: the 1951 nickel's planchet composition was precisely 75% copper and 25% nickel. This ratio was crucial because any deviation could create valuable off-metal errors. A handful of 1951 nickels were accidentally struck on copper planchets intended for pennies. These wrong planchet errors are among the most valuable, with one example selling for $88,125 in 2020. The strike quality of 1951 nickels varies significantly between mint facilities. Philadelphia minted coins typically show the sharpest details, while Denver and San Francisco issues often display slightly weaker strikes. However, this created an interesting phenomenon. Some weakly struck coins actually preserved die characteristics that would have otherwise been eliminated through normal striking pressure. Consider the case of a Minnesota collector who, in 2017, discovered a 1951 nickel with a die crack running through Jefferson's head. Die cracks occur when the stamping die begins to fail, creating raised lines on the coin. This particular example showed a progressive die crack, meaning the crack grew larger as more coins were struck. The coin sold for $12,500, not bad for a 5-cent piece. Let's talk about surface preservation. The highest grade 1951 nickels show full steps on Monticello's stairs, all 5 steps clearly visible. These full steps specimens are incredibly rare, especially from the San Francisco Mint. A 1951 S with full steps and no major errors sold for $14,100 in 2021, simply because of its exceptional preservation, but the real value lies in combining multiple desirable characteristics. Imagine finding a 1951 D nickel with both a double die obverse and full steps. Such a coin would likely break auction records, potentially reaching the $1 million mark. While no such example has been discovered yet, the possibility keeps collectors scrutinizing every 1951 nickel they encounter. Authentication is crucial in this market. The American Numismatic Association Certification Service, ANAC, has documented several counterfeit 1951 error nickels. These fakes often show artificial doubling or deliberately damaged surfaces meant to mimic valuable errors. Learning to distinguish genuine errors from manipulation can save collectors thousands of dollars and help preserve the hobby's integrity. Die rotation errors from 1951 present another valuable variation. Normally, the obverse and reverse dies are aligned at 180 degrees. However, some 1951 nickels show different orientations. Coins with dramatic rotational errors have sold for over $30,000. One spectacular example showed a 90-degree rotation, meaning Monticello appears sideways when the coin is flipped over. Temperature plays a fascinating role in these errors. During the minting process, dies expand and contract with temperature changes. This can create subtle variations in spacing and detail clarity. Some 1951 nickels show evidence of dies that were slightly expanded during striking, creating broader, flatter features that distinguish them from normal strikes. The human element in minting these coins cannot be overlooked. In 1951, many mint employees were relatively new, having replaced experienced workers who served in World War II. This transition period led to more frequent errors and variations, making 1951 a particularly interesting year for error collectors. One of the most challenging aspects of collecting 1951 nickel errors is documentation. Many valuable specimens likely exist in old collections, unsorted boxes, or even circulation, their significance unknown to their owners. Every major coin show seems to bring new discoveries, keeping the market dynamic and exciting. Consider the strike-through errors, where foreign material got between the die and planchet during striking. While most strike-throughs create minor surface distortions, some 1951 nickels show dramatic evidence of larger objects. One remarkable example displayed the clear impression of a staple that had fallen onto the planchet, creating a negative image in the coin's surface. It sold $4.22,500. Microscopic analysis has revealed even more variations. Some 1951 nickels show die deterioration that created unique texture patterns, visible only under magnification. These micro-errors might seem insignificant, but to specialized collectors, they represent important documentation of minting processes and can command surprising premiums. The story of the 1951 nickel isn't just about errors and variations, it's about preservation and discovery. Many valuable specimens have emerged from old bank rolls, dealer stocks, and family collections. The key is knowing exactly what to look for and understanding how these coins can be preserved for future generations. Modern technology has revolutionized how we study these coins. Digital microscopy and 3D scanning have revealed previously unknown characteristics of 1951 nickel errors. This technological advancement continues to uncover new varieties and authenticate controversial specimens, adding another layer of excitement to the hunt. In 1957, the Philadelphia and Denver mints were operating at full capacity, producing hundreds of millions of Jefferson nickels. While most of these coins are worth their face value today, certain rare varieties and striking errors have commanded astronomical prices at auction. Let me show you exactly what to look for. The story of Tom Henderson from Ohio illustrates just how life-changing these coins can be. In 2019, while sorting through his late father's coin collection, Tom discovered a 1957 nickel that looked slightly different from the others. That small difference, a double die obverse error, resulted in a $28,000 sale at Heritage Auctions. But that's just the beginning of what's possible with these coins. Let's start with the basics. A standard 1957 Jefferson nickel weighs exactly 5 grams and measures 21.2 millimeters in diameter. The composition is 75% copper and 25% nickel. Under normal circumstances, these specifications would be consistent across all coins produced that year. However, several factors at both mint facilities led to some remarkable variations. One of the most sought-after errors from 1957 is the bug-eye variety. This occurred when the die was improperly cleaned, causing Jefferson's eye to appear dramatically enlarged. While common 1957 nickels might be worth 10 to 25 cents, a well-preserved bug-eye variety can command $3,000 to $5,000. The key is examining Jefferson's profile under good lighting. You're looking for an obvious protrusion or bulging in the eye area. Sarah Martinez, a collector from California, found one of these bug-eye varieties in a roll of nickels she purchased for face value. She described the moment, "I almost missed it because I wasn't wearing my glasses. But something about Jefferson's face caught my attention. After comparing it to photos online, I realized what I had." Her coin, graded MS-65 by PCGS, sold for $4,800 at a specialized coin auction, but the bug-eye variety pales in comparison to the legendary, triple-struck error of 1957. These incredibly rare coins show evidence of being struck 3 times by the dies, with each strike slightly off-center from the previous one. The result is a coin with multiple, overlapping images of Jefferson and Monticello. Only 12 authenticated examples are known to exist, with one spectacular specimen selling for $167,000 in 2021. The Denver Mint produced its own share of valuable errors that year. The D/D mintmark variety occurs when the D mintmark was punched into the die multiple times at slightly different positions. Under magnification, you can see a distinct doubling or even tripling of the D. These coins regularly sell for $500 to $2,000 depending on condition. One of the most remarkable features of 1957 nickels is the presence of what collectors call strike-throughs. These occurred when foreign material, usually pieces of cloth, wire, or grease, got caught between the die and the planchet during striking. The result is a distinct depression or pattern in the coin's surface. While most strike-throughs add modest value, some spectacular examples have sold for tens of thousands of dollars. Consider the case of Robert Phillips, a metal detector enthusiast from Montana. In 2018, he unearthed a 1957 nickel with a dramatic wire strike-through that created a perfect spiral pattern across Jefferson's portrait. Initially thinking it was damage, Phillips almost discarded the coin. After authentication by NGC, his discovery was valued at $12,500. But now, let's discuss what many consider the holy grail of 1957 nickel errors, the full steps, double die reverse. This combines 2 highly desirable features, the sharp striking detail showing all steps on Monticello, and a double die error on the reverse. These coins are so rare that many collectors doubted their existence until 2015, when one was discovered in a bank roll by James Wilson of Texas. Wilson's coin, graded MS-66 full steps by PCGS with the double die reverse, sold for an astounding $258,500 at auction. The doubling is most visible in the columns of Monticello and in the lettering of 5 cents. What makes this variety so valuable is the perfect combination of strike quality and mint error. Here's what to look for when examining your 1957 nickels. First, check the steps of Monticello under magnification. You should see 5 or 6 distinct horizontal lines. Next, examine the lettering and architectural details for any signs of doubling. Pay special attention to the columns and window details of Monticello. This is where doubling is most apparent. The condition of your coin matters tremendously. Mint state examples with original luster command the highest prices, but even circulated error coins can be worth thousands. Look for coins with minimal contact marks and strong visual appeal. The presence of original mint luster, especially in the fields around the devices, is a strong indicator of high grade. Let's talk about some lesser known but still valuable 1957 nickel varieties. The dropped letter variety shows one or more letters in Liberty or In God We Trust sitting noticeably lower than the others. These can sell for $200 to $1,000 depending on the severity of the drop and the coin's condition. The clamshell strike is another fascinating error from 1957. This occurred when a planchet folded over on itself during striking, creating a coin that opens like a clamshell. While extremely rare, authenticated examples have sold for $5,000 to $15,000. The most recent sale was in 2020, when a remarkably preserved specimen brought $12,750 at auction point. One of the most underappreciated aspects of 1957 nickels is the presence of die cracks. As dies wore down during production, they would develop small cracks that transferred their pattern to struck coins. While most die cracks add minimal value, some dramatic examples, particularly those that create the appearance of a retained cud, can be worth thousands. The story of Mary Chen, a coin roll hunter from Seattle, demonstrates the potential of die crack varieties. In 2022, she discovered a 1957 nickel with a massive die crack running from Jefferson's ear to the rim. The crack was so severe it created a raised fin of metal on the coin. After authentication, her discovery was valued at $3,800. But perhaps the most intriguing aspect of 1957 nickels is the possibility of finding an undiscovered variety. Despite decades of study by numismatists, new varieties are still being found. In 2023, a previously unknown double die variety was authenticated, showing dramatic doubling in the word Liberty. The discovery coin sold for $45,000. And the hunt is now on for more examples. Here's a crucial tip for examining your 1957 nickels: use proper lighting and magnification. A good quality loupe or USB microscope can reveal details invisible to the naked eye. Look at your coins under different angles and lighting conditions. Some errors are only visible when the light hits them just right. The date position can also affect value. Some 1957 nickels show the date noticeably higher or lower than normal, or tilted at a slight angle. While not as valuable as major errors, these position varieties can still command premiums of $100 to $500 in high grades. Let's discuss preservation. If you find what you believe to be a valuable 1957 error nickel, proper handling is crucial. Never clean the coin, this can dramatically reduce its value. Handle it only by the edges, and store it in a proper holder. If possible, have it authenticated by a major grading service like PCGS or NGC. The market for 1957 error nickels continues to strengthen. As more collectors recognize the historical significance and rarity of these varieties, prices have steadily increased. A coin that sold for $10,000 5 years ago might bring $25,000 or more today. Consider the investment potential. While common 1957 nickels have barely kept pace with inflation, rare errors and varieties have appreciated significantly. The key is authentication and proper documentation. A certified error coin with a clear chain of ownership and authentication is much more valuable than a raw specimen. Some collectors focus on assembling complete sets of 1957 nickel varieties. These variety sets can include everything from minor die cracks to major double dies. While building such a set requires patience and resources, the educational value and potential financial return can be substantial. Let's not forget about mint state rolls. Original bank-wrapped rolls of 1957 nickels can still be found, though they're becoming increasingly rare. These rolls may contain undiscovered errors and varieties, making them particularly valuable to researchers and collectors. The story of David Ross, a banker from Michigan, illustrates this point. In 2021, he discovered an original bank-wrapped roll of 1957 nickels in his grandfather's estate. Upon careful examination, 3 coins from the roll showed significant die varieties, including one with a previously unknown die crack pattern. The roll, which cost his grandfather $2 in 1957, was valued at over $7,000. Whether you're a serious collector or just someone who enjoys checking their change, the 1957 Jefferson nickel represents an exciting opportunity. These coins combine historical significance, rarity, and the potential for significant financial return. Remember to examine every 1957 nickel carefully. You never know when you might make the next great discovery in American numismatics. The hunt for valuable 1957 nickels continues. Every year, new varieties are discovered, and prices for known rarities continue to climb. Who knows? The next major discovery might be sitting in your pocket change right now. Keep searching, keep learning, and most importantly, enjoy the thrill of the hunt.